welcome to GG Weekly Podcast. What day is it today? July 15th. That's my lucky number, actually, 15. So this is going to be a fabulous episode. I'm Chris, the real Darth guy, and with me is Justin Baggy Noodle Arms. How you doing?
Doing good. As I told you a little bit ago, I'm been kind of sleepy the past few days, but other than that, I can't complain about a whole lot.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way in the sleepiness, but I attribute it a little bit to the fact that I'm going on vacation on Saturday. So like mentally, I'm already gone. Like already not working, already not paying attention to like normal life things, just in like pre-vacation mode kind of, you know what I mean? I always get that way when I have a vacation scheduled. I don't know.
But you have to make sure you leave the house clean, because there's nothing like coming back from vacation to a clean house. That's way better than you come back to, dishes in the sink or something.
You come back and it's all just a disaster because you didn't do anything before you go. We are actually getting a house sitter though, because, well, we have dogs, and this cabin that we're going to specifically, we can't take dogs there, unfortunately. So we had to get a house sitter for that to happen, which is convenient because, and then, at least I don't have to send them to like a doggy daycare or something like that, because I kind of hate those places, to be honest with you. But yeah, you got to stop staying up so late playing Destiny. I think you'd be more rip raring to go. Is that the saying? I don't know.
That could help for sure. Just fixing my sleep schedule,
Yeah.
They say that helps. I'll get in there eventually.
So have you been streaming in the mornings with these late night Destiny sessions, or?
Yeah, so not mornings. I've been waking up a little too late for that, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I have been doing almost every day, like weekday, 2 p.m.
Okay.
2 p.m. start. And besides the last 2 days, actually, yesterday I didn't even do it. Besides today, I've enjoyed them just because I've had more energy.
Okay.
It's a little early in the day. I'm not, I didn't do the whole day and then try to stream on whatever energy I had left. So that was kind of nice.
Right.
I think people are starting to realize that I'm live around those times, because I'm getting a few people who pop in kind of the same time every day.
Right. I guess that's why I kind of wanted to go this direction, because we were curious if daytime streaming was going to change your viewership, if you were going to grow a little bit, what was going to happen. And so have you seen a big change in your viewership, or kind of the same viewers, they just pop in at different kind of sporadically?
I would say a few of the same people, like a few of the Destiny people kind of that, or, even C2 old Twitch crew people, but a little bit different people that are from like, maybe a different time zone or whatever, that I'm seeing more now. I haven't like, oh yeah, I stream earlier, so now I have 100 people in my chat, but
all of a sudden your partner. What?
But consistent. I'm consistent. The viewers are kind of consistent, and people, I think, are starting to realize that I'm A, actually live again, and B, like I said, that kind of a new time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I kind of like it because I'm not like half falling asleep because it's nighttime and waiting for that second wind to kick in.
Right. That
it's
makes
the
sense.
first wind. Well, and I can finish when Becky gets out of work, so that's cool.
Right. Yeah. So spend more time instead of streaming at night. That makes sense. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be kind of a weird transition, because you were a nighttime streamer, so you got your viewerships there, even though they want to see you. Maybe like me, for instance, I can only stop in sometimes when like work is not really busy. So that changed there. Plus, just you getting on a normal schedule, them going, oh, it wasn't a random time for him to stream. It was actually like, this is being consistent now, so people can kind of, I don't know, alter their viewing plans. Because like for me, I actually like, I have certain viewers I watch, or not certain viewers, but certain streams that I watch at certain times. Like I like the beginnings of Tim's streams better than like towards the end when he starts to rage out a little bit more, so I normally switch off of him once it starts to get a little bit crazy, and watch like a smaller like if you're online, or I have a list of a bunch of people out there, so it's kind of nice to know when you're gonna be on. So keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna fine-tune times, try different times, maybe even make 2 streams a day playing with it. But
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be shorter. You know, you wouldn't do 2 8-hour streams or something.
You wouldn't stream for 16 hours every single day? What? Why not?
If everybody told me they'll show up, I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
Everybody though, like the whole planet.
Have you, speaking of long streams like that, have you ever done a 24-hour stream personally?
I may have even mentioned this once before. I've streamed once that was potentially that long. It was before any of you guys even knew who I was. It was a Destiny raid. I don't know how long I actually went, but I did the raid for 23 hours straight.
Okay.
So if I was live that whole time, it potentially was a 24-hour stream. But it was not like, hey, I'm going to go 24 hours this Saturday. It wasn't like a hyped up thing. It was just, I'm going to raid and I'm going to stream it.
Okay.
So, and like I said, I wasn't taking Twitch seriously back then. It was kind of just like my friends can come watch me do a raid.
Okay. Okay. Well, part of the reason I ask you if you've ever done a 24 hours, because as you know, Horizon Zero Dawn is being released on PC for me on the 7th. I took
of August?
The 7th of August. We're like right on the cusp here. I'm super excited. And I was toying with the idea of like starting my stream at the normal time on Thursday and then doing 24 hours. So we'll hit the release and just play Horizon Zero Dawn as long as I can up until the next day. See if I can make it. Because I've never really tried to make it through that long. I mean, I've stayed up for 24 hours before in my life, obviously, but not playing games or being on Twitch, you know?
That could work. I always recommend like you start like, 6 p.m. so that, because if the very end is like the 2 a.m. or something, it's like nobody's awake to even like keep you going.
Yeah, so the plan was because I'll start on Thursday at 6:30 like normal, and then just go till Friday at 6:30 p.m. again.
And then recover all day Saturday.
and just recover all day, like go to bed at 6:30 and then wake up at the next day.
It's gonna be the one day your dog wakes you up or something, but hopefully not. Right? But I have to read what Cooch said because it's, for one, funny, and two, kind of relevant, I guess. But Darth, being a huge Star Wars fan, how does it feel to co-host with a guy who looks like an old Luke Skywalker?
Oh, okay, that's funny. It's my dream to be interviewing Mark Hamill, so
so he's referencing in my stream, somebody came in and said I look like an old Luke Skywalker, like him as an older, I don't know, episode 7, 8, 9, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, because he had the goatee and everything, and in the last 3. So yeah, he was a little. Actually, you look like him when they meet at the end of 7 in the salt flats with all the red flying up.
I haven't seen 7, 8, or 9, so
yeah. Okay. Okay. So, or wait, was that 8? That was 8. I got that all messed up. So that was in 8 at the very end, and he has a younger looking image of himself versus the typical what you see him as throughout those movies. So yeah, I'm gonna tweet that out. I'm gonna have a side-by-side picture of you.
Well, go to Twitter, and if you look, my profile photo is me photoshopped on the Luke Skywalker's body.
Oh, okay, it is. Yeah, okay. Oh, Cooch says no, it was 7, so I was right the first time. Okay, I actually have my Star Wars movies mixed up. The real Darth guy. What? I have to abandon the name now. What am I doing?
You do. But yes, a viewer said that, and another viewer made me into Luke Skywalker in Photoshop. So it was a good time, and Cooch is bringing it up because obviously you're the Star Wars guy that we all know and love.
Right. Well, speaking of Twitter, at least you don't have a check mark on your profile picture today.
Darth, why would that be a bad thing? I would love to have a check mark.
Well, all the verified people can't tweet right now at all. They're locked out of tweeting right now. So you know a little bit more about the tweet that was initially sent that kind of threw us all into this spiral. But what actually happened earlier? So Elon Musk is the one that I know. Yeah.
So if I'm remembering things correctly, I want to say it was a couple of months ago, though. That's the only reason I feel like I could be incorrect. But I saw Elon Musk had like I don't know, you buy one Bitcoin and you get two. You're getting double your thing. And I think it was like if you send Bitcoin in that you already have, he'd double it for you. That was like the deal,
okay.
right?
Right.
So you send him 100, he'll give you
And
200.
then you never
And
get
I'm
it
looking,
back
I'm
because
looking
it's...
into it. Yeah, I'm looking into it. I'm like, this can't be legit. Like, how does that even make sense? And Elon Musk's Twitter page tweeted it. So you're like, oh, well, that can't be completely fake because
Right, he's got the check mark. Right?
yeah, I mean, that'd be fraud, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that...
So yeah, I don't know. It just seemed weird. And then today it seems like apparently a bunch of verified accounts are getting hacked. So Twitter went and like locked down all of verified Twitter.
All verified Twitter accounts are now not able to compose tweets. When we were looking at it before the show, it looks like they can retweet still, but not like they can't retweet with comment, and they can't do like just a generic everyday tweet. So now
I'm assuming they can like too. Then maybe I'm assuming like the buttons are kind of just still work.
Right. That's what I would assume as well. But apparently, it's better to not be verified now, folks. Welcome to the new world.
We can still tweet.
Ha.
Yeah, one of the community managers from Bungie, DMG, he's been changing his Twitter name to like I can't tweet and I'm sad. So like they still have access clearly to Twitter.
So they probably just like, I don't know, in my phone app I have that little like feathered thing, the pen created tweet.
The comment bubble?
You probably when you actually hit tweet, it probably just like locks you out and says you're not able to or something like that. I'm just guessing, but so
for sure,
like editing your profile and retweeting and stuff like that seems to be working. But that's interesting that all the normally you would think it would be all the people that aren't verified that would get that problem, right? You think it would be flipped.
Especially because they probably have, I would assume you have to have two-factor authentication to have a verification.
Yeah, I mean, I even have it just because I put it on all my accounts, but like that's kind of weird. That, I don't know, but it seems to be something where Twitter's being hacked. It's not like these accounts are being hacked. It's Twitter itself that is having the problem. So
okay,
because
even still, I'm just confused.
Yeah, it's very weird, but yeah. So no check mark
either
is
way.
best.
If your Twitter starts acting weird, maybe change the password and
change the password. Yeah, actually, it might even be a good time to change your password and turn on that two-factor authentication anyways, just because since they are being hit right now, it's probably only a matter of time before whoever's hitting their servers and trying to get in probably gets access to most things. Unless they, of course, they fix it, but we'll see what happens.
Right.
But that's
we shall see.
That's kind of funny.
It is. It's a new one. That's all that's trending right now on Twitter, it seems.
Yeah, well, that and all the stuff we try to pay attention to but ignore. It's like you have to pay attention, but you want to ignore it, kind of a thing. So one good thing did happen. We actually had a game conference, well, kind of a conference, or at least a gaming event happened over the weekend. It was Ubisoft Forward, their, I guess, big event, which they're saying they're going to do multiple of them. So hopefully they're a little closer together than like a yearly situation. Maybe it'll be like a Nintendo Direct every couple months kind of a thing. That would be kind of nice. But did you get to catch any of that over the weekend?
I did not. No, I had a pretty busy weekend. But I know you streamed it. So yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, we streamed it. We did the pre-show and the actual show, and then we didn't do the post-show because I don't really care about that stuff. Like whatever, we can talk as a community, you know. So the pre-show was really weird. The first half hour of the pre-show was really, really, really boring because they featured this game called Trackmania, which is like it's a custom track maker, kind of has like an RC car feel to it, and then they just had a bunch of people from all kinds of different Ubisoft divisions playing against each other in this game, discussing the game and kind of showing it off, which it was really weird to intro with. Yeah, for a whole half an hour of the pre-show. And it was really weird because, like, I don't know, it was just like no one came to Ubisoft Forward to see an RC car game. Like, no, we don't want to see that.
I mean, if it was like a, and here's a bunch of indies coming with like 15 of them and that was one of them, it'd be cool.
That would actually make a lot of sense. Yeah, I agree with that. And the pre-show had Trials, is it Fusion? The motorcycle game that's basically like a super version of Excitebike from the Nintendo back in the day. Ghost Recon got a new big update, which I'm not really sure if that's going to save it or not, because I don't know did you follow Ghost Recon at all when it was released, the Breakpoint? So
No.
Breakpoint was released, and it was a massive, massive change to the systems of Ghost Recon, the feel of the game. There was a lot of differences in this one. So if you were more of an RPG player, you probably liked it to a certain extent because, so let's say you get the M4, right? Early game, you get an M4 that's level 10. Later, you keep collecting better M4s throughout the course of your progression through the story.
Okay.
And then, of course, character level and armor level and clothing and all that stuff, right? So
Sounds
a lot
similar
of people,
to like Division, maybe.
yeah, it's
Ish.
very, it's got a Division kind of feel with the progression system, but like every Ghost Recon, a headshot is an instant kill. The time to kill is a lot
Okay.
lower for most of the enemies. It still feels pretty friendly to expert gunplay, I would say. Whereas Division, like you
Okay.
can hit someone in the head with a whole magazine of stuff and it
They
doesn't matter.
might still be there, yeah.
Right, it just doesn't matter. So a lot of people didn't like the fact that it was more RPG-ish, and they kind of broke the formula of Ghost Recon because they're like, we already have these games. We already have Division. We already have Destiny. We already have games where it's like a progression. Ghost Recon, we want to play through a good story and just like if you want to go get the M4, you go find the M4 in the map and then you have it, and that's the best M4. You don't have to find 30 of them in order to
Right.
eventually get the one that you want. So so about a year after they were, you know, in production, they said, okay, we're gonna revamp the game. We're gonna take away that system. So they took away that system in a previous update, and then they finally added back in AI teammates. So the big presentation for Ghost Recon this time was that they're adding back in AI teammates. So now, what has it been like? A year and a half, 2 years after Ghost Recon Breakpoint's finally released, we get Ghost Recon back, which is really weird.
Yeah, that feels too weird. I think.
It's literally just they broke Ghost Recon. They committed the time to fix it, so I'll give them credit for that. They didn't just drop the game like treat it like an Anthem or something like that. They actually fixed the game, brought back all the elements that people wanted, and hopefully now it can get a little bit of momentum going forward. I actually bought it because it was like $12, but still. That was kind of cool. So I'm excited for that because I love Ghost Recon. And then that was, from what I can remember, that was all the pre-show. There was, what is it? 1, 2, 3, about 4 games, major games. They talked about Far Cry 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Hyperscape, and that's really the big 4 that they did. It was cool. Assassin's Creed, if you know what I mean. It's just it is what it is, and that's the one cool thing is it's Vikings now. So if you like Norse
So this is
mythology
Vikings,
and
right?
stuff,
Yeah.
if you like Norse mythology and stuff, you're probably gonna love this game. Also, from the gameplay that I watched, I've even watched some of the like reactions or the like kind of funny crew. They already played it, and they did like a here's what we think about the game episode. I can't even think of what it's called, but anyway, it's brutal. It's very brutal, very powerful fighting. One cool thing though is in this Assassin's Creed, you know how, I don't know if you know this, but in Odyssey you had to pick Cassandra or Alexios, and that was just the path you took, right? In this one,
Okay, I didn't play that one, so
yeah, in this one you have the main character, which I forget the name off the top of my head now, but you can actually switch freely throughout the entire story. Like if you want to be the guy version, or if you want to be the girl version, or back and forth, whatever you want to do, you can swap, and you don't have to like restart the whole story if you're like, I wish I played with the girl instead,
it's a little funny because we mentioned swapping characters last week on GTA.
Yeah, we did.
Not quite the same, but
yeah, because it's the same person really. But for instance, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I played as Cassandra because the voice actress that did the actual work was so much better than the Alexios version. Like it felt more genuine, and it really wove into the story a little bit better. So like you can kind of experience both of them, or if you start with the guy version and you're like, I don't really like this voice actors, switch over. You don't have to start over. It's kind of cool.
You're getting sick of hearing that voice. You can switch it up a bit.
Right, be like, I want a new voice. There we go. Watch Dogs Legion looks absolutely insane. You can switch to absolutely any character in the world and use them as your character.
Wow. Okay.
Any of them. Like they showed a construction guy, they showed like an old grandma, all kinds of different people, and you can start to progress the story using that person as your character.
I wonder like what that affects. Like, say you're an old person, you know, like do you become slower or do you become like weaker, or is there any?
So they were showing that like
show?
the construction worker, he when he went in heavy, he had a wrench and like all kinds of moves like that. The grandma was kind of on the stealthier side. They had a John Wick guy that was basically we all know it was John Wick because they used the exact same techno song from John Wick 2.
Okay.
And they showed all the gun fu, as they call it. I can't remember. I think they showed just like an ordinary everyday street person as well doing some stealth stuff. But it seems like it'll be pretty cool. You're supposed to build up like your resistance. So the more people you play, the bigger your resistance. You can recruit different people. Me and my chat were joking. We're like, a whole clan of grannies. Just everyone's a grandma. Like
the granny clan, yeah.
The granny clan, you know.
I would join that clan.
It looks pretty cool. The one thing that I did see on one of the post discussions about it was locked at 30 frames at 1080p, and it was running on next-gen hardware. Because they couldn't get it to run smoothly at 60 frames for the pre-recorded demo. So that worries me a little bit because we're not going into
gameplay's locked at 30 or like trailers.
Yeah, it was gameplay. They were playing through it and it was locked at 30 frames because they couldn't get it to optimize to the point where 60 felt natural. I'm really worried about that because we're not going into next gen being locked at 30 again, right? Come on.
No.
Like,
no.
Give me a break.
I mean, I won't buy one. The only product I will buy at 30 frames is Nintendo. Like, they can do it because that's not why I'm there. I'm not there for crazy, experiences.
I'm not excited about that, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? And then what else? Far Cry 6. It was just a CG trailer. We know nothing about it except for the guy who plays the actor. Obviously, he's a pretty big actor. He plays the guy in the end of Mandalorian who has the Darksaber. He plays in Breaking Bad, I believe.
Breaking Bad.
Well.
He's he owns the chicken restaurant. The why can't I think of the name of it?
I can't think of his name either. Probably should have looked that up, but hit us up in chat if you know the main character's name that was on there. I mean, it's a CG trailer, so it tells us absolutely nothing about the game whatsoever. It's like, ooh, it's so pretty. Yay, but it's a CG trailer, so they're always pretty, It's...
I'll say it looked really cool. I did see that because I saw, like, a couple days later, a streamer watching the trailer.
Yeah.
So it looked pretty cool. I, at the time, didn't know I was watching a Far Cry. I kind of, like, tuned in a little too late, so
sure.
I didn't see the whole thing, and I, at first, like, this is cool, but I don't know, and I was like, oh, Far Cry. I like Far Cry, so...
Yeah.
I'm a little excited, I guess.
I'll probably play it. I liked Far Cry 5. I like how it's an open world. You kind of get lost in it, but there's still a purpose to you being there. So I'll probably play it. And then
Did
the
you
last
like
one,
that 5 and was it 4 maybe? Both had like the co-op modes. Did you try those? Did you enjoy them?
So Far Cry 5, I did try it. I hated it. For the sheer fact that the game, so it wasn't like a system where my friend could hop in and progress. So anything my friend did in my game would progress me, but he got no progression. He got no new weapons. He didn't unlock anything for his character. It was like he was just an arbitrary
if I remember correctly, he kept skill points or something. I thought he kept something. I think they kept something, but you're right. Like at least story. You could beat the whole story and then they get back to their game and they're on the first mission. It's like...
Yeah, it's a weird way to handle it, but I guess they didn't want to worry about, like, if this person's on this mission and this other person hasn't unlocked it yet, what are we going to do kind of a thing. Giancarlo Esposito? Is that Giancarlo?
Assuming that's the actor's name?
Yeah. Thank you, Cooch, for in the chat. Giancarlo Esposito is the guy from Far Cry 5, or Far Cry 6, rather, the main guy. But yeah, I didn't like the co-op thing. I could go without it for Far Cry 6, to be honest with you, and just play by myself.
I like that it's there. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. And obviously, then you just get the experience that you just said. Like, you can just play.
Yeah.
And then if somebody does have and you want to try it out, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't want them to waste, like, a ton of their time if there's something else they could work on that's better. But yeah. I don't mind it. It was fun. I played it a little with a couple different people. But I did get frustrated. I felt like I was always helping everybody else. and never progressed my story, and I don't think I ever finished it because of that.
Okay, yeah, that
Because I didn't want to redo the missions.
You know, you play 6 hours with a buddy, and then you're like, I have to play all 6 of those hours by myself again.
Yeah. Or
Why?
they can join you. I guess you can like
Yeah, and like
take
back and
turns
forth a little
leveling
bit.
up. I don't know.
I would say the best part about that co-op experience was just creating havoc together
Oh yeah.
in the world,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
going absolutely insane on everything in the world, you know. But I could go without it, to be honest. I mean, for co-op games, I don't think Far Cry hits it. I feel like the Far Cry story does kind of lend itself to you being kind of like that one person in a way. But
What's weird though is I don't know if I'll buy it if it doesn't have it, and not because I actually like love the co-op mode or anything. I just know myself, and now if a game doesn't have multiplayer, I'm like a million times less likely to buy it.
well, I'll play it, but I won't buy it. I'll probably just get Uplay Plus and play through it that way for a month or two, however long it takes me. Because then I get all kinds of other games too, you know. But
True.
that's how I'll probably play through that and Assassins, to be honest with you. Because it's a pretty good deal actually. Yearly, it's like $180, and you get all those games. So I do that sometimes. The last game that they talked about that has any importance really is Hyperscape. It's their BR that they're pushing right now.
Have you tried that at all?
I have. I don't
Okay.
like the pace of play. So the pace of play for me is a little bit too fast. I think if they,
Okay.
let's say they knocked it down to like 85% of the movement speed and the hecticness that it is now, I would probably like it better. But their whole premise for it is that it's a fast-paced, like kind of gamer. Have you ever seen the movie Gamer? Or what's that other one? Gamer or Ready Player One is kind of the same thing, where it's like
I saw Ready Player One. Yeah.
So it's people that are in this game, and you're playing their avatar in the game, and it's like a competition. So they did change up some things where there's this crown version of the BR where you're supposed to go get the crown, and you're supposed to be the last one with that crown. But for me, there was too many jump pads. The world didn't have that many unique places to me. It kind of all felt the same.
I did notice that a lot of things looked even like digital.
Yeah. So they definitely go into this is not a real world. It's a simulated world. It's supposed to be a game world. So like the windows are like orange, and they got triangles that move all around, and when you break them, they break into like a digital sound and stuff like that. So it's just it's a real different take. So I think it's fresh, but I don't know that I like it. I have it again because it's now an open public beta instead of a closed public beta like it was before when you had to get the Twitch drop to get into it. So everyone can try
I got the Twitch drop and never played it. I downloaded it and I haven't tried it.
When I played it, there's some gun balancing issues where the only weapon that was worth running around with was the chain gun, because the time to kill is so high. The chain gun has enough ammo in it that you can take out 2 people. Makes the most sense out of most of the guns, because everyone's running around with a chain gun because they can take out 2 people. So there's some gun balancing issues. Like I said, it's a little too fast for my taste. And then just the jump pads all over the place. There's just people flying everywhere, and you're like, the verticality is kind of overwhelming just based on some of the games that I play now. It's not a bad thing. It's just not for me at this point. I'll try it again, maybe in a couple weeks after maybe I see a couple patches download or something like that. But you should try it.
I wonder if it'd be really cool with like virtual reality.
You know, it might be, because yeah, I could see that happening. Wouldn't that be cool?
Because then the verticality, I feel like, doesn't matter as much. Like in real life, it's easy to look.
Yeah, you
I don't
just
know,
look
like,
around
everywhere
and like just move your hands to aim and all that stuff. It's a little different than like a mouse or a controller situation. I'd agree with you on that one. Because I actually play, so I have the Oculus Quest, and I play this game called Robo Recall. Robo Recall is basically you're just a person that's trying to contain. It's basically iRobot, the movie, put into a game.
Okay.
So, but they're jumping all around, but you have pistols or machine guns, and you have free movement of your hand, and you can spin around in your body and all that stuff. So the verticality in that one doesn't feel like it matters as much. I think you hit something right on the head there. You know?
I would like to Cooch brings up an interesting point. It pushes the emphasis of being a fake world. Do you think the people who think shooting games create active shooters, we'll have more respect for it. A little like political, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? I don't know. I think the same people will be upset personally.
Yeah, I think they will be, but actually not to go too far off subject, but that's an interesting thing about the world that we're living in now with the whole COVID stuff happening. So now everyone is playing more games. They even did a promotion that's like, stay home, play video games, like trying to get people to stay in. And so you're like, wait, 6 months ago, everyone was like, get rid of video games. Or, well, not everyone, but a lot of people were like, get rid of video games. They create violent people. And I'm like, well, now we're supposed to be playing video games and staying home. So do they have the mindset of, once everyone gets out, everyone's going to be all crazy because they're playing video games all the time.
Now they've been trapped in their house for months only playing video games. How violent are they?
Right. There's your study. This is just a whole study on violent video games. We find out in the end.
I obviously, as a gamer, I don't necessarily think that gaming makes people violent, obviously. I do think that there's ratings on games for a reason, though. Yeah. Obviously, if you have a child and their brain's not developed, like maybe they shouldn't be playing shooters all day, every day. I don't know. Like, there's definitely, you're a parent. You have to kind of decide how your kid acts and how.
Yeah, well, like for me,
teach them.
Of course, my kids' grandparents probably thought that I let them play video games a little too early, but I grew up playing video games. Video games are like kind of an escape. So if you're having a stressful day, I'm like, oh man, all I want to do is turn on a video game and kind of veg out for a while. Like in my world or in my mind, video games are an escape from the stressors of life. They don't like.
Agreed.
Of course, the Salt Factory runs pretty heavy sometimes, and I get pissed off at a video game. It's just natural because you're passionate about something. But it's one of those things where I've always been, as a parent, like play video games. That's fine. Plus, making friends online, that's how I communicate with a lot of the people that I'm interacting with on a day-to-day basis. But I guess we got off the original topic of, do you think they'll have more respect for it because it's not a real active like Call of Duty shooter? But
I think the problem is you're still in a sense in their mind, right? You're normalizing shooting other people. I mean, they're clearly not real people, but it's just the fact that you're normalizing shooting and it not mattering. Like there's no real consequence for anybody dying in a game.
Right. I mean, I guess
that's just teach your kids. Right, teach your kids
right? That is bad, right? Like actually don't have the video game teach lessons to people, right? Right.
Tell your kids that, shooting people in real life's not good. Make sure they understand.
I'm pretty sure the world's a little bit more desensitized to shooters. Of course, you're still going to have the people that disagree with them, but like Fortnite changed a lot of the world and the way it thinks about shooters because it was animated. There's no blood. Like it's kind of just this fun thing where you're running around. I can't remember if there's blood in Hyperscape, to be honest with you. I can't remember at all. I'm not sure. I don't think there is. I think it looks like a digital splatter if I remember correctly, but I could be totally just imagining something completely not real. But I think people are getting more desensitized to it, and also I think it's just people like me who grew up with video games. We're now the parents. We're now getting into our older age, so it's changing just because of that.
That's true.
I don't think the people that still believe that are going to change their minds at any point. Their opinion will matter less eventually because more people will have the opposite opinion, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Sounds kind of a weird way to say, like, you're going to get old and no one's going to care about what you think.
Well, I mean, realistically, the people who weren't around when games were around will eventually, I guess, not be here, right? Like, eventually the Earth will be only people that were here when video games were around, and then it already becomes more normal because everybody understands what they are.
Right. I
mean, sure, it's the same with most technology, right?
Right. I mean, they've always had
movies.
Violent books. Like violent
I feel like
TV
books
shows.
are some of the worst, honestly.
Books go into incredible detail about some of the things that happen. And that's why some people love books so much more over movies, is because of the extra details you do get in there. So like there's always been violent stuff. It's just different forms of how you consume it, So in my opinion,
there's our take on that.
Yeah, there's our long take and kind of maze style approach to discussing that, huh? Okay, so did we
There
touch?
was what do we? I was gonna say something based on you mentioned during Ghost Recon, right? That
Mhm.
people are upset because they broke the formula, and I found that pretty interesting because there's a lot of games that kind of try to do that. What comes to my mind as what I'm interested in is Zelda.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild
Yeah.
was probably the most non-Zelda Zelda we've ever had. And I mean, how do you feel about? Do you think games should always kind of stick to, like, should have Nintendo made that? I don't know, not Zelda, like named it a new name and had a new type of game with a new formula, and also had Zelda with, the Zelda formula? Or do you think it's cool that they kind of jump around, do what they want with characters you enjoy?
I kind of feel conflicted about that one because there are times where they completely change a game like that and it becomes a classic. It becomes better.
Right.
But there's probably more times where they've changed the formula so much where it no longer feels like it has the heart and soul of the original game anymore. So
Okay.
I would err on the side where I don't like when they do that, and I would almost prefer they do a thing where they're like, okay, we're going to take one of the characters and have a spin-off game.
I was just gonna say a spin-off.
Yeah, like a spin-off game makes sense because then you're kind of like so Metal Gear, what was the one? Revengeance or something like that? Or
no clue.
the one where it's more of a hack and slash game than it is like a tactical shooter game. So that game was fabulous, but it was like a side, like, okay, this is not the mainline Metal Gear idea. It's just this other side thing that we're going to do. I like that style. And I'm even fine with them keeping the names. So like if they did Ghost Recon and then some kind of, they didn't try to sell it as the sequel to Wildlands.
So as long as like the trailers or the, I don't know, the deep, the title, whatever, something made you realize that you're not buying what you're accustomed to.
You're not getting that experience that you were hoping for with that game.
Okay.
So like Ghost Recon Breakpoint was kind of supposed to be a sequel to Wildlands because they even talk about some of the events of Wildlands, but you're like, this isn't the same game. This is a different game. It's weird. So I would probably err on the side of, yeah, you can do it, but make it a spinoff.
I'm a little torn because, I mean, using Zelda again, are you familiar with Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah, I played the very first one. That's just like a horde mode beat 'em up kind of a game, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's a beat 'em up. You capture, zones. You kill the captain of a zone, and then now you have that part of the map or whatever. Kind of like what's that board game people play?
Risk or Pandemic?
Yeah, kind of like Risk or something. Like you take part of the map, and now you own it, and your troops can be there or whatever.
Yeah.
Zelda did that they literally partnered with those people and made Hyrule Warriors. So Hyrule is where
I remember that.
Zelda's from, and they Warriors from Dynasty Warriors, and it's literally you play just like it's Dynasty Warriors, but you can play as Link, Zelda, Sheik,
right?
Yada yada.
A little bit of a familiar face instead of just arbitrary samurai guy.
Right. So that was cool. It wasn't my type of game, but like again, as you said, I knew exactly what I was getting into. Like I didn't feel like I'm buying a Zelda. I knew I was buying a Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda skin.
Right. Like one of my favorite games ever is Mario Golf. You're playing golf, but you're Mario characters. Like I
mean, Mario does everything now, though. Tennis, race, fight.
Do you remember Mario RPG? How's it?
Yeah.
Fabulous game. I wasn't really much for RPGs until I played Mario RPG. That was a cool game, and it was completely different than what you expected from a Mario game. But like you said, I knew exactly what I was getting into. I didn't buy the game expecting to have a similar experience to Mario 3.
You mean Mario RPG with RPG in the title didn't make you think you were playing a platformer?
Yeah, see, Nintendo is smart. They're like, we got to make this obvious. We got to make this completely obvious that this is not what they're expecting. So,
but I did point on that because I know when Breath of the Wild came out, a lot of people, like, that was obviously a huge game. It sold millions of copies. It's very loved. It's, as you said, will be a classic.
The reason some people bought Switches.
it's the reason I bought a Switch. But at the same time, and I'm kind of with them as a Zelda fan, I didn't like a lot of things, even though I love the game.
Okay.
You know, like your weapon breaking, that's super not Zelda. The most that ever happens in a Zelda is you run out of arrows or bombs.
No, you'd break the fake Master Sword, like when you didn't get the real Master Sword. So that's
which game was that?
That was Ocarina of Time. I know they had a fake Master Sword and shield in that game.
They had the wooden Deku shield that would burn, and you'd have to get a new one. But yeah, I mean, okay, they had light, right? They had a light version of that, but like you didn't go and find this really cool sword at the end of a dungeon, and then 3 minutes later it's broke off of like a mob, you know, like a low level nobody. It breaks. So I don't know. I think obviously I love Breath of the Wild. I'm happy it came out. I wouldn't even particularly change anything if I had the power, but it felt weird to play it as a Zelda. So as you were talking about Ghost Recon, I was like, yeah, I don't know what they could do about that though. Like I said, do they literally reskin it and call it or did they go, hey, Zelda, not dungeon crawler or whatever, you know, like whatever you want to consider that game.
Like how would they go about the marketing while still using the Zelda name, but portray to you that it's like, well, it's Zelda, but not. That'd be a hard
if you watch the
play.
trailers, you obviously knew some of the stuff changed. Like it wasn't secret, but still, yeah, I don't know. Just thought it was an interesting idea of what companies do. I mean, I think all games do it. They like try something new and then you're kind of like, wait a minute, I loved what I had before. What are you doing?
Unless you're Call of Duty. And then you just literally do the same thing every single year and everyone goes, I want it still.
Well, no, what was that Call of Duty? You could run off the wall. You could run off the walls.
Yeah, I guess they kind of, so the core gunplay was still there, but yeah, you had like super soldier outfits and you can run on walls and like triple jump and like you could never touch the ground on the entire level, just jumping around the wall runs and everything. So I guess
and once
you're right
again,
there.
People hated that, right?
People did hate that, yeah. They're saying like most people think that the game didn't kind of return to its glory until Black Ops 4. And even some people don't like that and say Modern Warfare, which is the current one. There was another game I was thinking of that also did. Oh, I was going to make a joke. Never mind. I was going to make a joke about, or you're Rockstar and you just shove GTA 5 down your throat for 3 console generations.
Hey, don't even get me started. Like I said, Skyrim.
No, that's true.
How long was Skyrim down our throats? I mean, when it came out for the Switch, I was in shock. I was like, I'm supposed to be excited that Skyrim came out again? It's on mobile phones now, I think.
I heard that it ran pretty terribly on the Switch, though.
I mean,
I can imagine.
Doesn't surprise me.
Your render distance, you can't even see too far because of render distance or whatever. I can imagine that. Because Fortnite, I don't know if you've ever played Fortnite on the Switch.
Once.
It is not good. I mean,
no.
Of course, they probably could have made it a little better over time because I haven't played it in a while. But man, it was rough. So, oh
well.
Gosh. And then we're talking about shoving games down our throats. And then how many times have you bought Mario games?
I mean, I own Mario Tennis for the Switch, so, like, you know.
Mario 1, 2, 3, like all of those, just every single time it pops out, you're like, ooh, I'm going to buy that. Sure, it's only $5 or $10, but every single time. Man.
Oh, you're talking about when they redo, like you can buy the original Mario on every Nintendo console ever.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, on the Switch, they finally fixed that, in my opinion. It's part of, you get Nintendo Online, you get it for free, right?
Yeah, well, you get it for basically nothing. Nintendo Online is such a crazy good deal because you get the NES Online Library and the SNES Online Library. It's just...
Well, that's what I mean, and it's the ability to play online.
Yeah.
Just like your PS Plus and your Xbox Live.
Yeah, so that's just like the bonus
but it's like $12 a year or whatever?
Yep. Or
cheaper if you do a family plan. 20 for family, I think.
It's somewhere. It's really cheap, like in comparison to all the other online services. But Nintendo doesn't exactly do online services correctly. Like, there's no voice chat.
Voice chat, yeah.
Like, the friending system is horrific, Hey man,
What
can
do you
you
mean?
send me
You
your
don't, you
friend
don't know your
code?
16-digit friend code or whatever
Come
it is?
on. It's so terrible. Oh. And then there's no way to like copy it from somewhere so you could just paste it. You actually have to physically type it in all the time. Oof.
They might have like a QR code. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I wonder if they do have that. Like the
I'm
Discord
gonna get my friend
login
code
thing.
tattooed on my body so I can just say, you know,
So you
like,
just,
here you go.
Here, scan that. Just send them a picture and they scan it. That's hilarious. Oh man. So I wanted to talk about this thing on the last show, but we think we touched on it a little bit, but it's been eating away at my mind, and it's personal discords for streamers.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know how we talked, I think it was in like episode 1 or something like that, where we talked about the self-promotion is kind of frowned upon nowadays. You're supposed to grow somehow without self-promoting really anywhere. Like, don't post your link on here. Don't just post it on your own socials and that's it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I was struggling with the idea behind going live channels inside personal discords. So obviously someone like Creator Crew going live there makes sense to me, just because there's so many people. So it's not like geared towards one specific person. You're supposed to be a big group of people and be like, hey, I'm all online or whatever, right? But in a personal Discord, how do you feel about like in Baggy Noodle Arms Discord, if you have a bunch of people in there, are you like, well, this Discord is for me, it's not really for everyone. Do I post in here? Do they post in here? What are your thoughts about going live channels in there?
Okay, so personal experience on my Discord, I took away a channel for anyone to tell me they're live. It's not because I don't care that they're live. It's not because I don't want them to get the viewership. But I remember there was a time that everybody, it was like right when everybody made their own personal Discords. So I was in like 50 of them or whatever, you know, personal Discords. And you'd see somebody, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control, through all 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wouldn't see them ever talk. I mean, they can't talk in 50 Discords. It's not possible to keep up with 50 Discords. So you almost just become another billboard of, for lack of a better term, junk. Like, nobody cares that that person's live because they've never interacted in this Discord.
True. Okay.
I don't even pay attention to the channel because I'm in a bunch of Discords and they all have the channel, and
you mute that channel so that you're not blowing up all the time, right? Okay.
Yeah, so I got rid of it. I do myself, well, I haven't been, but I don't feel nervous to say, hey everyone, I'm live, because, well, most of them joined off of my Twitch channel.
Right.
To keep up with me. So in theory, you'd hope that either that's what they're there for, to know that I'm live, or to at least have a conversation with me. Okay. And then if they don't want to, they can leave. I'm not really, and that's not like a get out of here. It's just, I don't really care about my personal Discord.
Sure. Okay. So I took away my going live channel in my personal Discord as well. And then I added the bot that as long as your Twitch account's linked to your Discord profile, it changes the color of the name and then puts you in the user list on top for like streaming now. So I've done that, and I think I like that approach better.
Me too.
And then, you know, I have the announcement channel, which typically I only announce like I announced on Sunday because it's not a normal day for me to stream, and I announce our podcast because I'm like, hey, it's our podcast, you know. But I don't like my scheduled streams on Tuesday, Thursday. I never mention those ones, and it's. I don't know if it's because I feel guilty because I'm like, you can't post that stuff in my Discord, but I can. It's kind of I don't know. It's kind of
like I said, that's kind of the point. I mean, I guess it depends how you use it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you tell people, hey, join this Discord, it's a place you can find people to play Call of Duty with, and that's how you sell it. And then you go, hey, I'm live. Like, they may kind of get like a bad taste in their mouth. But if you're like, hey, this is my Discord where you can talk to me, play games with me, find out when I'm streaming.
Right.
Well, then that's kind of part of the package is understanding that it's literally a page about you in a way, you know?
I guess it would, being angry about going live announcements, if you will, would be kind of like them following you on Twitter and then being like, stop posting your going live on your Twitter. And you're like, what? That's what I have to. That's the only place I'm allowed. God, you know. I don't know. It's personal discords are weird because like you want to grow them to a point where they're no longer really a personal discord, or at least that's how I want to grow it to like community style, where that's where you're like, hey, I need a partner for this tournament that I'm gonna join over here, and someone's like, ooh, I want to play, you know, kind of like that. I don't know. I always struggle with that.
They talk among themselves. Like, I mean, you can't be active 24/7 with your community. The idea is your community becomes its own almost entity where it keeps itself entertained and fosters itself and takes care of itself. And then you are like the leader of kind of that, like, or, you know, everybody knows who you are because they're there because you brought them together.
Yeah, you were kind of the central thing that brought them all together. And I think like the Discord chat, the daily is important for like if you are live and then people that are from your Discord are there, but they have normal conversations. Let's say you go on a BRB screen. Now, all of a sudden, they're still interacting. They're still having conversations without you necessarily being the only one conversing with them. Or if you're in like tryhard mode in like a big tournament in a game, they can kind of keep the chat going and talk to each other rather than you having to, you know, in the middle of a tournament, look over and respond to something. So, I don't know.
I feel like my view is going to be a little different than most anyway, because so I don't really invite people to my Discord. In fact, I'm always shocked when somebody shows up in it. I'm like,
how did you find that link?
I mean, they just type Discord into my Twitch, just like everybody else, you know, exclamation point Discord, and there it is. But like, I've debated deleting the command because I literally don't talk in it. Every now and again, I'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't said good morning in 7 months. Maybe I should do that, you know, like. But
in your own Discord.
I've used it as a catalog. It's where I put like files I want to find, pictures for a game, you know, I don't know, updates of games so I can read them later. I literally have hidden channels for house plans, wedding plans.
Oh, that's like, crazy.
I use it as like my notebook almost.
Almost like because I use Google Keep for that kind of stuff. So I put all my notes and checklists and things like that in Google Keep.
Yeah.
So you almost
that
use
in
Discord that way. That's interesting.
And I make it so that, you know, like for instance, the wedding channel and the houseplan channel, Baggy can see because, I mean, she's part of that. I mean, and then I have like a channel, co-op games. Right, yeah. I have a co-op game channel where like I try to list any co-op games I find so that if somebody wants to play one, I know a list of them. And nice. I invited the 2 friends I play all the co-op games with into just that channel. No one else can see it. You know, I don't know. But I think I have a different view because I run C2 and run a Destiny Discord. So if I want to squad up, if I'm playing Destiny, I'm going to invite them to the Destiny Discord. And if I'm playing anything else, I may just push them to C2. Okay. Maybe. I don't really know. I mean, I guess I haven't had that because I'm usually playing Destiny or with a streamer. So they're already
I wouldn't even say probably usually playing. Almost
9 times out of 10.
Be more accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I played an hour of Sea of Thieves today, okay?
There you go. Was there some kind of loot drop you wanted or something?
No, Luke Diamond our buddy was playing it and just invited me, and I haven't chatted with him in a while, so it's kind of like a catch-up game sesh. Sure. But there was an update a month ago, and I did get to see it. It seemed pretty cool. I don't know if you played.
No, not yet. I downloaded it for a while, and then my Xbox, the Game Pass subscription.
Okay. Yep.
My free stuff expired, and I was like, I don't play enough of those games right now, so I'm going to just go ahead and stop that from billing my credit card every month. So once I want to pick up a game like that again, I'll probably jump in there. But it's actually, I think, still installed on the system because I forget to open Xbox Game Pass and like uninstall things when I unsubscribed. But speaking of Animal Crossing, have you decided if you wanted to let that islander leave yet, or?
So the story gets good, right? My Switch actually died because the dock I thought was plugged in wasn't even plugged in.
Okay.
So when I turned it on last night for the first time in weeks, it restarted. Like I was at the loading screen and the villager had not left or stayed. Like it still didn't know, but I could talk to it again. I could like avoid the character if I didn't want to say anything.
You just run away. Hey, I have a question. You just run off to the other side of the island. Nope.
This morning they ran up and I finally just said, you can leave. I let him go.
So you let
Breaks
them
my
go.
heart. but I let him go.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. Is that the saying, right?
I don't know that one, but it's probably a saying. Yes, there's a saying for everything.
Well, so I think the reason it came up in my mind is I saw you tweet about that exact situation in response to someone at some point.
I did, yes.
And I was just like, oh, he still hasn't decided. That's hilarious.
So I did try the new, you can jump in the water and then dive and catch things. So far, that's all I found new. And with that comes like some new furniture for trading in some of the scallops you find to a beaver, I think it is. You know, Animal Crossing, it's weird. But anyway, it seemed fun. Like all Animal Crossing updates so far, it doesn't feel like you're playing anything different. You just have like one new little thing you can do if you're bored.
So would you say that the fad of Animal Crossing is kind of waning or even over, maybe?
Surprisingly, I still see a lot of people on it when I get on. Like it'll pop up, this person's online, this person's online. I kind of think part of that's still maybe because of COVID or people are inside a lot. I don't know. I'm torn.
They probably did a lot more in a lot shorter period of time than if they were, you know, out and about and doing their normal life thing. So they just grind out Animal Crossing, and then they're like, well, I did it all. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever die. I just think the people who weren't Animal Crossing fans before this won't be playing, right? Like,
they'll kind of
they've moved on again,
go away, right?
There's Animal Crossing diehards, just like Call of Duty diehards or Destiny diehards. You know,
which weirdly I've become a Call of Duty diehard. I don't know when it happened, but it happened. Now every single time I start my computer, I just like autopilot to Call of Duty, and then I'm like, wait, I wanted to play another game. What's happening here?
You've changed, Darth. You've changed. When I met you, you weren't a Call of Duty person.
No, I wasn't. What was I playing back then? I think it was like Spider-Man.
Before this
and, like,
was Escape from Tarkov. Yeah. Before that was, maybe just like one-offs. I mean, when you first came back after your hiatus, I think it was basically Ghost Recon.
Yeah, I did Ghost Recon all the way through the whole entire story on PlayStation, though. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. And then before that, before the hiatus, I think it was Spider-Man.
Yeah, that sounds right. Like console games, like exclusives, like Spider-Man and maybe God. Did you touch God of War?
I played God
of
War for a while. I never beat God of War completely, but I did play that for a while. So yeah, okay. Well, that's a big change going from Spider-Man and God of War to always Call of Duty all of the time, I guess. But that'll change here soon because Horizon Zero Dawn coming out on PC, and I'm super excited.
But still, that's only, I mean, how many streams worth of a game is that?
I'll probably be, since I know what to do and it's not exploration for me anymore, I bet you I can finish that in, I don't know, 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
Only playing on my stream days, which, you know, Tuesday, Thursday. So, I mean, that's not, I'm not going to play offline because I've already experienced this story offline by myself. So, Cyberpunk's coming. I'm super excited for that. I pre-ordered it, so I'll be getting that.
I'm going to wait on it, just like I've been doing with a lot of games. It looks cool, but, you know, as anything, hype is hype, and we'll see how it really goes.
They got me with that Night City Wire event. Like, I didn't even have it really on my radar. I knew about it, of course, but it wasn't on my, like, must-buy. It wasn't on a wish list, nothing like that. And then all of a sudden, that Night City Wire event got me, and I pre-ordered it literally right after that event, because I was like, okay, the hype level's up here. Why not? It's at least something for me to pay attention to and be a little bit excited about, because like we don't have any Call of Duty news. We don't really have any other game that I'm vying for at this moment. So I guess it was more of the I want to be excited about something mindset than the I'm really excited about this specific game. Maybe, I don't know. What else do we have coming out? I know this game
that has a lot of updates all the time, and it's got different modes you can play, so you're never really bored.
Is it Call of Duty? I know it has updates all the time, and they're like 100 gigs.
Yeah, I mean that's actually true. I'm not sure what's in that 100 gigs, but
I don't know.
There.
But
they add one new gun, and I have to re-download the whole game again. I feel like
they're like season 4. You're like, you added 7 skins. Why is it 100 gigs? What's going on here? Right?
Yeah.
But
it was even worse on PlayStation. I don't know if you remember that. Like, you literally did re-download the whole game for like any update.
Yeah, and the bad thing about the way that PlayStation does their updates, at least on PS4 currently, right now, they have to you have to have like double the amount of space for the game to be
Yes.
able to update, because what they do is they move it so that if something happens during the update process, they move it back and fix it so you can still play. And it's a terrible
That's
system.
wild.
It's a terrible, terrible system. It's like, just be like, hey, understand if the update fails, the game could be broken and you might have to download it again. Like, I'd prefer that over
Me too.
this
Yeah.
terrible, terrible. Because how many times have I been sitting at that copying screen going, well, it downloaded in 5 minutes, but now it's taking 40 minutes to copy? What's it doing? You know?
Yeah, it's definitely wild. I remember having like, I don't know, 10 gig updates take like 3 hours. And you're just like,
Well, and then
Okay.
the PlayStation servers are just slow as all get out. I mean, I had gigabit internet in Florida, and I still would download. It would take a long time just because the servers won't feed it to me any faster. But
yeah,
hopefully that's better on the PS5 because, well, the games are going to get larger because they're going to have higher def assets and just more stuff to crunch into the system. So we'll see how that all pans out in the future. But I'll wait for everyone else to beta test it for me. And
that's
I'll
definitely
buy-
the thing with all these new consoles. Like they're pushing digital more and more. Like, I mean, they even sell a PS5 without a disc drive,
no
right?
Disk drive, yeah.
But I don't feel like internet's keeping up with game demand. Like we can't, as you just said. I mean, we spent sometimes hours downloading a game. I
I agree
mean,
with that 100%.
we have to get a day to download. Like the game comes out on 7:15, but you won't play it till 7:16 because good luck downloading.
Well, they started. The nice thing is they do the digital
Preload.
like preloads, but still, it's like the internet. A lot of people will be like, no, I can't, I want to buy the physical disc because I'm a collector, or I really like the shelf that I have. You, for instance, but like for me, I always did the digital version because of the putting it on 2 PlayStations. But what about those poor people that are like, well, I wanna buy the physical because I literally can't download this game in any normal amount of time. There's a couple people that I squad up with in Call of Duty, and they're like, yeah, my download's 20 megabits per second. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What year do you live in? Like
I think my
20
buddy
megabits.
Mike's is better than that, but it like
Oof.
we'll hop on. He'll be like, I can play tonight. You know, we'll both hop on at whatever 9 or whatever time it is,
Mhm.
and he'll be like, oh crap, I have an update on Fortnite or whatever it is. That typically means we have to find a different game to play.
Okay.
Like, or we just don't play that. We literally like just
Like,
chat in
okay.
a Discord call until it's done downloading, which might be when we're going to bed. So,
Ouch. mean-
yeah, it's
Well, Nick in chat is saying that he only has 60 down. So again, like I had gigabit in Florida. I actually just upgraded my internet to gigabit here because finally someone's in the area. But like right now I have 400 megabits. And even that, sometimes I'm like, why am I lagging? What's going on here? Come on, Call of Duty.
I think I have like 200 down, but
Okay.
still only like 12 or something up.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted gigabit so bad, is because the upload and download is synchronized in true gigabit internet. And since I work
Yes.
from home, I have to upload and download files and stuff like that all the time. So it makes sense for me to have.
He did it for streaming. Don't let him pretend it was for work.
I want to shove all the bits, the bit rate through the pipe, all the bit rate. I want to make it so mobile users can't even watch it.
Yeah. Don't even try.
Mobile, get out of here. No.
I
Oh,
mean,
man.
most viewers are typically on mobile, I guess. I mean, my viewers, I don't think are, but that's what I've read. And it's like 60% or something.
Yeah, so Devin Nash says he even says it's up in the like 70s. And
Yeah, it might be true.
I mean, I believe it to a certain extent, but like my experience, I don't enjoy watching Twitch on a phone because
No.
if you want to interact with chat, you have to have the phone in portrait mode and then typing,
Mm-hmm.
or in the landscape mode where it's cut off. But who in the world uses the landscape keyboard on your phone? I've never seen anyone use that ever. You know, the one where it's
Yeah.
like the keys are too far apart for your hands. Can you even see that in the
Yeah.
camera? Yeah. Like I can't even imagine using that. But yeah, I like to have a full keyboard and be able to type straight on Twitch chat, you know?
Well, plus, like, you close the screen because, well, 1, battery, 2, I don't know, you're at work and your boss walked by. I don't know, anything, you know?
Yeah.
And now you're behind the stream. Now it's more lagged than it normally is because it paused.
Yep.
Or you can, I guess for me, if I'm out and about and I want to watch a stream, I'm using air quotes here because watch. I typically just put it on audio only.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to it as if I'm listening to a podcast or something.
Right. Yeah, I've done
and
that
then I can type
for plenty.
Because then I don't care, if my screen shuts off, as long as it still plays, I'm not behind. I know what's going on. It's still funny. I mean, maybe I don't see the cool trick shot or the somebody fall off the edge and die and it's funny or whatever, but
well, I've
you
noticed
get the experience.
Something, at least for like if I was to listen to a Call of Duty stream, because let's be honest, when I'm working, there's a stream on and it's probably Call of Duty, but I'm not actually actively watching it. And just being a Call of Duty player, I hear the things happening and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's going on. Not specifically like 1-to-1 ratio of what's going on, but I'm like, oh, they're in a gunfight and he's obviously getting killed because he's screaming, calling hackers, whatever it may be. Yeah. I understand what's going down.
They need to get money.
Right. Oh, man. Speaking of Twitch, though, Twitch, what is it, Prime or Turbo? Or what the heck is that thing? Twitch Turbo. So we talked about it in an episode, I want to say it was like 3 episodes ago, where we thought
two episodes ago.
Okay. We thought it didn't exist anymore, and you found it. So Twitch Turbo
Link's in chat.
The link is in chat. It's twitch.tv/turbo for our audio listeners, but it's at $9 a month, and it gets rid of ads. I'm going to click on it just so I can read the whole thing.
Ad-free viewing.
With limited
badge,
exceptions,
which is a battery. A battery with a lightning bolt in it. You can have that as your Twitch badge in chat.
Right. You get
the emotes are just you can have 2 different smiley faces. So there's like the white
robot,
the white robot looking face thing, and then what's the other one? It's the purple the glitch
icon
shape.
Yep. And then there's one, monkeys is another one.
Oh
so
yeah.
You get 3
and
total.
Then right.
You get the custom chat username, which
custom
whatever.
colors. Well, no, it's just colors. So everybody can pick colors, but they can pick colors that others can't pick.
Oh, okay. So they probably have like the color wheel or something that they can pick.
Yeah, who knows?
This one's kind of cool for me though. Extended broadcast storage. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
it's okay. But really,
60 days instead of 14. That's kind of nice. Like your VODs will hang around for 6 or 2 months instead of half a month.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not bad.
It's not bad. And then the thing that
the
really
ads is the reason to do it. Yeah,
ad-free viewing, because obviously you can't subscribe to every single streamer you ever watch to get ad-free. So it's $9.
You can try.
Nick is asking if we will be subscribing to it. I did. The instant Noodles sent this to me, I was like, done. I'm in.
I have never subscribed to it. It used to be a long time ago. It was part of Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
And before that, I actually had a free code for a free month that I tried it.
Okay.
The reason I haven't done it is, although $9, isn't enough to probably break the bank for most. I mean, some it might be, but I would rather sub to 2 people.
Okay.
With my extra $10. So it's like this tough, and I know that's not equivalent, right? Because now I go to a 3rd channel and now I have ads because I didn't sub to that 3rd one.
My thing was like discovering new channels, no pre-roll. You have no ads in the middle of it, so it was almost a kind of help me discover, because there would be times where I'm like, I don't want to watch a bunch of ads. I'm just going to stay on this channel. Screw it.
That's fair. So. I will say, I haven't been trying to look for new channels in a while, but when I do, I typically put one up that I sub to.
Okay.
And then I'll open another tab, and while they're running their pre-roll stuff, I'll just go back to the guy or girl that I already subbed to.
Right, that you're already watching.
Wait, a minute and a half, or whatever the heck I think is a good amount of time, and I'll click back over.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I did it for ad-free viewing. The other things are just kind of a bonus. But speaking of ads, have you been watching YouTube lately? Do you watch YouTube very
almost
much?
Never watch YouTube. No, so it's like YouTube, if I'm looking for a guide.
YouTube ads have gotten ridiculous as of late. Like now it's like almost 2 ads every single time you click into a video. There's a ton more unskippable ads now that you just are forced to watch, and it feels like it's just Nick, even using ad blocker, it still gets through sometimes. So Nick said to use an ad blocker, which I did for a while, and then they were still getting through. And then also, I disabled it for YouTube specifically because I felt the YouTube monetization model actually is more geared towards people making money off of the ads that their viewers are watching. So I was like, I guess in a way supporting this creator is allowing the ads to run on the channel because their ad share is way better than Twitch's. But I don't know, I don't like ads, but I can't pay $15 a month for that YouTube TV or YouTube Plus or whatever it's called subscription. I think it's called YouTube Red, actually, if I remember right. But
I guess the other weird thing, now that you bring it up, is kind of you pay the $9 a month on Twitch or the $15 on YouTube. You're only supporting the company.
yeah,
You skipped out on all ads. I assume now any ad that plays on a YouTube channel, they don't get any money, or maybe they get like 15 still whatever cents they would have got because you pay for the
premium.
the thing. Maybe I don't know.
I might have to look into that and see what happens to monetization for channels if a premium subscriber comes through. I wonder how that works.
I wonder if this stuff is going to help another platform kind of shine, because I think eventually the ads are going to get out of hand and we're all going to get sick of them, right? Like we already kind of are. We complain about pre-roll ads. You just brought up YouTube's getting worse, not better.
Yep.
And we
Because
like we said, $15 a month. That's not cheap.
See, it's weird though, because if you think about it, 9 and 15, there's not a huge gap there, but it's a mental difference between more than 10 and less than 10. It's
not a big difference, but in a year's frame, it is $6 times 12, or at what, $72 a year extra. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So I just can't get myself. And Nick in chat says it's YouTube Premium. So I just can't get myself to subscribe to YouTube Premium. No matter how many times I'm like, ugh, this ad. I'm so irritated. This sucks. But on Twitch, I was like, oh, $9. Okay, why not? I don't know.
I have many monitors. You just throw one, I'll usually be scrolling something, Twitter or whatever.
Okay.
And that way, if there's an ad up, I'm scrolling Twitter.
Completely.
So it's like,
think about that. They're like, oh, these ads, they're gonna get people to buy these products and everything like that. And you just said, oh, if there's an ad, I completely ignore it and do something else. I don't even watch it. So like, it's
how
not
many
even
times
really...
have you seen an ad and bought the product? At least consciously, because you've probably done it subconsciously at some point. But
probably, and that's what they're going for, is the subconscious. Like you don't realize it until you purchase it or something. But
you're at the grocery store and you're like, which toilet paper should I get? And then
Charmin.
You just, for some reason, you think Charmin's better, but it's really just because you've seen 5 million bear ads,
or because on Tim the Tatman's stream you've played Deuce Destroyer.
I love that. Dumb.
He was giving away bits for the top 3 scorers for the week in Deuce Destroyer. But
I don't think he's doing that. I think it's either Charmin or Twitch or somebody.
Oh, okay. It sounded, based on what he was talking about, it sounded like he was giving it, but I guess he didn't necessarily, I'm giving you bits or anything like that. But still, kind of funny because I played. I was like, I'll give it a shot. There's bits involved. Why not? And then
You're not gonna get top 3.
I'm playing a Charmin ad. I'm literally playing a giant Charmin ad. So, like you said, and subconsciously in the grocery store, when you're like, what kind of toilet? Oh, I'll get Charmin because of that game. Whatever.
See, that doesn't work for me because I buy Cottonelle because it had a dog on the front of it. It had a golden retriever next to the word Cottonelle for a while, and ever since I've bought that toilet paper.
That's funny that you say that, because that's another form of subliminal suggestion, I guess I would say.
And I knew it buying it, but I was like, I need to.
It's like buying fabric softener. You're like, I want Snuggles because that little cute bear.
Right.
Oh, we could go forever on all these little, like, these subliminal messages and subliminal things that ads have been doing in the past, like, for so many years.
But yeah, is there any product that you can think of, like, let's say a mouse, that you go, oh, I remember that ad, actually, that seemed really cool, and then you go and buy that mouse, or, I don't know, whatever, TV, name it.
Well, let's see.
I can't think of anything. I mean...
I don't think anything specifically off of an ad, but I guess I'm more of a researcher. So when I buy something, it's because I'm like, I want a keyboard. I want this type of switch, or I want like the Stream Deck was interesting because I'm like, wow, switching stuff on my phone because I was doing that for a while. That sucks. Or having hotkeys. That sucks. Is there a thing out there to make it easier to switch scenes? Oh, there is. Look at that. That's cool. So I guess the only thing that would push me towards it is if like I have an idea of something I want and I'm like, wait, I know I can start at this brand. So like we'll just take Stream Deck since that's the last thing I was talking about. I'll be like Stream Deck alternative in Google, and then I'll get the giant list of all the other things, and then I'll kind of compare and contrast all the different ones together. But I guess I don't feel like I've ever bought something specifically because of an ad, but that sounds crazy. I feel like I probably have, but I just can't.
Like I said, I'm sure a toilet paper or a paper towel or a cleaning product, something that you don't care as much about. It's like a cheap $3 product, or
something that you're not going to research.
Or keyboard, they're $100, and you're only buying one every 5 years, maybe longer.
Right.
Like you invest more into thinking about the decision. Where you go into the grocery store, you're like, I've heard of Kleenex for tissues for my whole life, and you buy Kleenex.
Right.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head either.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm gonna go off on a limb and say no. Ads are useless. Get them out of my life.
I was gonna bring us on another tangent, and now I already forgot what I was gonna say. So maybe the brain's ending because we're almost at that 90-minute.
We pretty much like to keep this show at right around 90 minutes, so there's no shame in go ahead and call it. We can save some of these other topics for 2 weeks from now, because next week, guys and gals and everyone, audio listeners, we are going to take a week off because I am going on vacation with my family. So we're just going to cancel that show for the week, and I'm going to go enjoy some time out at a cabin by a lake. So don't expect us next week, but maybe Mr. Baggy Noodle Arms can replace it with a Destiny stream. When are you streaming? When are you streaming next?
What's today? Wednesday? Probably
Wednesday.
Tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow 2:00ish, but no promises. Definitely Friday.
Okay.
Definitely
Very
Friday,
cool.
but I'm hoping tomorrow at some point. How about you?
I'll be back online tomorrow night at 6:30. Probably gonna be Call of Duty again because I don't want to start a new game right before I go on a vacation or anything. So, yeah, I'll be looking for squad ups and stuff like that. So hop on in there. But 6:30 to typically on Thursdays I go a little bit later, so it'll probably be till midnight or something like that. So, but
Thursdays are tough because Baggy gets out of work at 11:30. So if it's a perfect paddleboard day or I don't know, whatever.
You don't want to take that away from yourself.
Right. So I typically don't know what's going on Thursdays, but if we're doing nothing, I just go live.
Cool. Well, other than that, we'll see you in 2 weeks. What's the date of that? I don't know. 2 weeks from the 15th.
That is
would be
the 29th.
Yeah. So June 29th we'll be back.
May have a guest, may not. We're kind of figuring all that out. If you want to be a guest, let us know. We would love to have more guests. Not every episode. We like to kind of break it up with a little bit of just the two of us. But yeah, I felt weird about Darth mentioned maybe I could do next week with somebody else or something, but I didn't really have an idea of who, and I don't know. The show, every episode has had the two of us, so I just felt like it was kind of an odd thing to do.
I honestly don't think that I would. If you had to be absent, I don't believe that I would jump on and stream with someone else either.
I would see if there was an opportunity, to, I don't know, interview somebody big or whatever, and that was the only week they could do. Of course, I would be like, no, you have to do it. You have to do it.
Yeah. But if all of a sudden we were gonna have Dr. Lupo on it, he's like, I can only do that one day.
I actually heard Dr. Disrespect is only gonna tell everybody where he went on GG Weekly Podcast.
Yeah, you heard it here. Will we hear it here first? No, we will.
Okay, that's probably not actually happening. Don't hold me to that, but that'd be real cool.
But follow us anywhere. We're GG Weekly Podcast all over Twitter. You can find us on iHeartRadio, all the podcasting services out there. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And stick around if you're in chat. We are going to raid a community member, so we will talk to you later. Good night, guys.
Good night.